For SU, hosting winless Colgate offered a great opportunity to brush up on the very few flaws they've shown so far this season. With the face of the organization, Antoine Jameson, now dealt to Cleveland, the onus is on some of the younger players to step up and make something happen. And that's where Andre Blatch comes in. He's now the longest tenured Wizard in the organization. It's pretty fitting that someone with the last name of Manley would be able to affect a crowd here at an SU sporting event. But believe it or not, it's no coincidence. With Pat, there actually is a tie-in. But after the game, all the team wanted to talk about was the incredible aerial display around the rim. Here inside the locker room of the victorious Cornell Big Red after the big victory to send them to the Sweet 16, and now one of the big performers, Lewis Dale. In the locker room, the players were thrilled to learn that President Barack Obama had the Big Red winning their opening round matchup. And unlike their upstate New York counterparts, he actually spelled their name right.
News 10's Anthony Lima was at the Dome Monday night to find out how it all happened.
Jackson again. It's no surprise that with SU's 20-1 start, members of the Orange fan base are starting to develop a big head. Literally. Meet Big Head Boeheim. He measures nearly 5 feet in length.
The students are energized. It's a really cool thing, and I've been getting compliments on it.
And this is the poster boy for the cutouts, Pat Manley, a member of Otto's Army, who says his masterpiece took nearly 6 hours to produce, although he won't take full credit for the big idea popping into his head.
Well, I've seen it on TV, college game days. They've had quite a few of them over the years, and I've never seen it here.
So he brought the cardboard craze to the Dome.
I checked the Dome policy, and they didn't say anything about big heads not coming to the game, so I figured I'd give it a shot.
And when he did, he said the Big Head's biggest obstacle wasn't security.
Probably the biggest problem was getting it through the revolving doors. I didn't think it was going to fit, but I managed, and things turned out great.
It's pretty fitting that someone with the last name of Manley would be able to affect a crowd here at an SU sporting event, but believe it or not, it's no coincidence. With Pat, there actually is a tie-in.
My great-uncle was George Manley. He was the benefactor of the university. He was a trustee. The field house is named after him. So I'm kind of continuing the family legacy.
And now with more heads popping up, what's the original inspiration think of how his likeness is being used?
I don't like to look at my face when I shave. When we don't play well, they'll be throwing that at me.
But with SU playing well, expect the head, as well as the legacy, to grow much, much larger. Anthony Lima, News 10 Now Sports. At a place that exists to share memories, this weekend at Cooperstown, 2 names were not forgotten. Bob Feller.
He was like the elder statesman for everybody.
And Harmon Killebrew.
He's one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet.
Both fixtures at various Hall of Fame events, and now both gone to that big diamond in the sky.
Time moves on, and it's unfortunate that we lost 2 guys that contributed so much to the game.
Part of the tribute, a moment of silence, as Feller's widow Ann made the trip to show her support for the Hall of Fame her husband embraced so much. Last year at this same event, Harmon Killebrew and Bob Feller, they managed in these very dugouts at the Hall of Fame Classic, ambassadors of the game they loved to the very end.
No one enjoyed coming back to Cooperstown more than those 2 Hall of Famers, and nobody was more part of our Hall of Fame family.
They were our team captains, so it's hard to lose them as quick as we did, but their memory lives on in us, and I'm sure the other greats take their places and stand up for baseball again.
Thanks, Mr. Smith. And now it's the next generation's turn to make the same impact earlier legends did. But Cooperstown won't soon forget those familiar names and faces.
Being not a part of this today, it doesn't feel right.
They're going to be very, very missed at the Hall of Fame. They embodied everything about what we are.
And what they are is a family forever. In Cooperstown, Anthony Lima, YNN Sports.
YNN.
It's been said that when Jim Tressel was the play caller in 1981 at SU, that he drew up 10 straight running plays in a game. When Coach Mack came to him and asked him if he had any other plays, he said, "Yeah, Coach, as soon as they can stop this one, I'll call it." Well, today, Coach Tressel called it quits as coach of the Ohio State University. The embattled Ohio State coach resigned early on Monday morning. He and his school, of course, the target of a very lengthy investigation. It's alleged that Tressel knowingly played ineligible players. Those players forfeited their eligibility when they sold championship awards and also got deals on tattoos. Today, I spoke with Coach Mack, who hired Tressel back in '81. He talked about the bond he shared with his longtime friend.
I was a very close friend of his father, Lee Tressel, and everybody in the family was involved with football. If you really want to know about Jimmy Tressel, ask the kids that coach for him here. He's just a wonderful man. Ask wherever he's been. He's done a fantastic job, and there's nobody like the Tressel family in college football. So this is a real shock today.
Now, there was an outpouring of support on Twitter from Tressel's former players, but how about a rival who Tressel beat 4 times in the regular season, Onondaga grad Mike Hart from here in Syracuse, and look at what he said, even showing his support. Great day for America, sad day for the Big Ten. Hate OSU, but Tressel was a great coach, would rather beat them when he's the coach than someone else. For the second straight year, Memorial Day wasn't so memorable for SU lacrosse fans. Absent from the weekend's festivities were the orange and blue, and instead it was a special day for a very different shade of orange and blue. Let's get out to Baltimore, where they had the worst crowd since 2002, just 35,000 in attendance. And the ones that were there saw a huge second quarter for the Cavs. 5 goals, including a hat trick from Colin Briggs. And they led 5-3 at the half. Briggs didn't even play in the semifinal game because he was suspended, but in the third quarter, on the attack again, Briggs would find the back of the net, ended up with 5 goals in this one. Huge day for him. But the Terps would come back and tie things up in the fourth. They get the goal as they get 3 unanswered. Ryan Young scores it here, but the Cavs too tough down the stretch as Matt White scores a pair back-to-back to put the game away. And a team donning the orange and blue, the wrong orange and blue, take this title as UVA wins at 9-7, their 5th national title. Dom Starsia gets his 4th and pulls to within 1 of John Desko.
You know, about the middle of the season or so, we dug down and found a little gear that I don't think we all knew that we had. You know, I think we're a completely different team now than we were 6 or 7 weeks ago. This is a terrific bunch of guys that have been working really hard, and you know, we're getting knocked around pretty good in the middle of the season, but never sort of gave up hope. And you know, here we are. Who would have thought it?
The Syracuse Chiefs began an 8-game road swing, starting the series in Louisville. Did not get off to a good start. No score in the 4th, but that's when the bats would get going. Jeremy Hermida takes Ross Detweiler's pitch up the middle. That scores a run to make it 1-zip. They weren't done there this time. Corky Miller. Well, what does Corky do? He uncorks the pitch, obviously. This one is gone to left field. Let's have that bat tested for some cork, huh? And watch this lady out there. What a way to commemorate a trip to the ballpark as she gets the baseball. It's a goner. Detweiler gives up 4 earned in his 6 innings of work, and the Chiefs fall 9-4. They'll do it again on Tuesday at 6:35. Now to the high school diamond. Sectionals finishing up in Rome today at DeLutis Field. Clinton moving on after shutting out Ilion. Rob Hardy tosses a 2-hitter for the Warriors. And in the other Class B game, Marcellus advances with a 7-2 win over IHC. What a day for Phil Zendowski. He strikes out 11. Mustangs win their first sectional baseball title since 1986. It was a big night for Syracuse basketball assistant coach Mike Hopkins on Saturday. He was a grand marshal out at Rolling Wheels Raceway for the big 60-lap big block feature race, which headlined the weekend. Hopkins, the one Big East coach in waiting who doesn't have 6 alcohol-related incidents. Sorry, West Virginia. He was a man of the people on Saturday as he schmoozed with the Orange Nation. Got a chance to ask him about Rick Jackson, who's been working out with various NBA teams in preparation for the draft. And Coach Hop says don't underestimate his NBA chances.
He's just one of those guys. He just seems to be able to adapt. You know, everybody's got strengths and weaknesses, but I think his strengths are, you know, being able to play defense and being able to rebound the basketball. And, you know, I wouldn't bet against Rick. He's he got his weight down last year, had a great year, and I think he's really ready to make that next step and play professional basketball.
And that's your check of sports for this half hour. I'm Anthony Lima. For that and so much more, make sure to check out our website at ynn.com.